Hello guys, how's it going? So today is a bit of a different video. I decided I want to test myself out, so I'm going to do a little survival challenge video. So the objective is to go out without any gear except the stuff I would usually carry with me every single day. And well, today's challenge is to make a fire. So as you can see, it's still pretty cold up here. We're in the north, around -10 with the wind chill. They say -15, so it's kind of cold. So when the weather hits those negatives, one of the priorities is to get some fire going. So I'm gonna have to get some fire without any tools, no saw, no knife or anything, just the stuff I carry with me every day. So let's go over that. Let's check out what I carry. All right, so here's the stuff I carry with me every day. So as you can see, it's my keychain with my house keys and other keys that I need, as well as some useful stuff. So as you can see, I have a paracord fob here. It's a cobra weave, and there's a few feet of paracord here if needed. You can always gut it and use the inner strands to get more cordage, either to work on a shelter or maybe work on a bow drill. So another item that's very convenient to have is this little multi-tool. It's the Leatherman Squirt PS4. So it's easy to deploy. You have some pliers if you need to, work on a bolt or something, or just to pick up something off the fire with a bail. So that I've used it for that quite a few times. And you got a bunch of interesting tools. Let's take a look at that. So here are the tools deployed. So as you can see, you have a small knife. So not used for much, but you can make some very small notches or scrape some tinder with it. I've also used it to scrape a ferro rod. You can do that. Here you have a file. You can also use to scrape some tinder or a ferro rod. Scissors that I use a lot, and these two screwdrivers, very useful in the urban environment. Overall, there's tons of functionality. It's super small, so it's really worth it. Alright, so I also carry this flashlight. So it's a Mad Light Solitaire, I think. It's a LED flashlight. It's pretty robust, never had a problem with it. Maybe it doesn't give the most lumens, but still it works great. Of course, in winter, I always put a lithium-ion battery in there, a lithium battery, because those other batteries, they drain pretty fast, and the lithiums never really leak. So that's another big plus. So the next three items are really aimed at fire making. So here I have this Light My Fire, I think it's called the Micro or the Mini. Anyways, it's their smallest one. I might upgrade to the Scout model eventually. I've used this a bunch. It doesn't throw so much spark, but it's still adequate enough as a as a backup or as a small EDC item. I put the scraper because it works great, and there's a whistle on there, so if you're lost, you can always signal with that. And here's a unusual item. I bought this magnesium bar. I drilled a hole through it. And so this can make some emergency tinder in a situation where it's tough to start a fire. Alright, so the priority right now to get the fire going is to get some good tinders. So in this boreal forest setting, the best tinders are probably birch or either fat wood if you can get it. So here we got a few birch trees. There's the gray birch, that's a hybrid tree between white birch and some other trees, and it doesn't make the greatest birch bark, so I tend to not use that one. There's the yellow birch. It makes some fuzzy birch bark. It's not bad, but often it grows in humid areas, and the bark is kind of humid, so probably just my second choice. The best one by far is the white birch. So that one has nice paper thin bark, and that lights easy even with a ferro rod, so we're gonna try to find that. If we get some other birch bark, we'll grab it as well, just to extend the flame. So let's start with that, and then we'll have to find some fine sticks. Usually what I like to use here are some dead branches from resinous trees like balsam fir. They got some resin in there. They're dry, especially at the bottom of the tree, and they burn easy. So that would be the first layer of sticks that I would add, and then add bigger branches. So the next step is to grab those branches from the conifer tree. Those small ones, little twigs. They snap off with that distinct sound, so you know they're dry. So I'm gonna grab as much as I can. I'm gonna need a lot just to make sure the fire is gonna go, because in an emergency, you don't want to mess around. So you grab as much as you can, and that's gonna help you to get a strong fire going. Another thing to keep in mind when you're gonna make your emergency fires, to pick a spot that's away from the elements. So ideally you're gonna have to find a spot that's sheltered from the wind, ideally not too much humidity. So just ahead, between these trees there, it's naturally protected against the wind, so that should make it easier. And because there's a bunch of coniferous tree up there, there's less snow, so it's going to be easier to get my fire going over there. So I think I'll pick that spot. So in a natural forest like that, you don't necessarily need an axe to harvest wood. As you can see, there's always tons of dead branches that are pretty big and they're still standing, so they should be dry. You can just grab them. And here I got a piece, so I'm gonna go on and grab some more. What's nice about these dead stumps here is that you can easily rip off parts that are super dry. So that makes for some nice tinder. Sometimes a bit punky, but definitely useful to get a fire, or you can just use it as your base. So I'll grab that. One way to break your bigger logs is to find some trees that are close together, or make a V like this, the tree we have. You put your log just there in the middle, and then you can use it as a lever to crack your log into several smaller pieces. Let's try it. So in a couple of minutes I was able to gather all this wood. So the next step is to process it down to smaller pieces and then light that fire. Here we go. We got our emergency fire going. It's roaring, so that's nice. Just gonna sit on the bench, relax a bit, and enjoy the fire. Yeah, so this type of fire is great to get you out of a hypothermia situation quick. Didn't take so much time, maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes to get all this stuff. So it's quick, it warms you very fast. Now if I wanted to keep this going, I gotta get more stuff, but the fire gets self-sustaining pretty fast. So like most people, when I was in the Scouts, I was taught to do a fire the classical way, the TP way. But I took a survival course and I learned this fire lay technique. Basically the gradual addition of larger wood. And I much prefer it. It works way better. There's more oxygen that gets to the fire. So there's less chance that it's going to die down on you. So I suggest you try it. It works well. Even a tiny ferro rod like this can get a fire going. So it's easy to carry, pretty compact, so there's no reason not to carry one every day. It's a great item to have. So I gathered more wood and just added to the fire. Now it's pretty much self-sustaining, so I could actually stay the whole night here, just adding more wood. Yeah, that fire is pretty warm. It's really drying my clothes off, so that's nice.